हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम बात करेंगे डिज़ाइन मेथोडोलॉजी ऑफ माइक्रो प्रोसेसर एंड माइक्रो कंप्यूटर। सो व्हाट इज माइक्रो प्रोसेसर? माइक्रो प्रोसेसर इज ए कंट्रोलिंग यूनिट ऑफ ए माइक्रो कंप्यूटर fabricated on a small chip capable of performing ALU means arithmetic logic unit operations and communicating with other devices connected to it. सो माइक्रो प्रोसेसर जो होता है वो बेसिकली CPU कह सकते हैं, इसको ये प्रोसेसर होता है. Okay, and it is consist of the three main component: arithmetic logic unit and control unit and registers. So microprocessor consists of an ALU register array and control unit, where the ALU arithmetic logic unit performs the arithmetical and logical operations on the data received from the memory or an input device. And the second one, register array, consists of registers identified the letters like B, C, D, E, H, L and accumulator. These are the registers which is used to hold the bits, or we can say the data, and the result of after performing operations on these data can be stored on these registers. And the third one is the control unit. कंट्रोल यूनिट कंट्रोल्स द फ्लो ऑफ डेटा एंड इंस्ट्रक्शन विद इन द कंप्यूटर. जो भी सिस्टम में जो प्रोसेसिंग होती है डेटा की, उसमें जो भी इंस्ट्रक्शन और डेटा जो फ्लो होता है फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर प्लेस, जो भी डेटा का फ्लो हो रहा है, डेटा एक्सट्रैक्ट हो रहा है, स्टोर किया जा रहा है, मूव किया जा रहा है, जो भी ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म किया जा रहा है, एवरीथिंग इज कंट्रोल्ड एंड सिग्नल बाय द कंट्रोल यूनिट. एंड दिस इज द बेसिक द ब्लॉक डायग्राम ऑफ माइक्रो कंप्यूटर. So microprocessor consists of ALU, register array and control unit, but when we add three more device, input device, output device and the memory, then it is known as the microcomputer. So microprocessor is a part of microcomputer. Now how does the microprocessor work? Microprocessor कैसे काम करता है? द माइक्रो प्रोसेसर अलाउज ए सिक्वेंस. जो भी ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करना है, जो भी प्रोसेसिंग करनी है, उसके लिए वो एक सीक्वेंस को फॉलो करता है. एंड द सीक्वेंस आर फेच, डिकोड एंड देन एग्जीक्यूट. इनिशियली द इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर स्टोर्ड इन द मेमोरी इन ए सिक्वेंशियल ऑर्डर, वन आफ्टर अदर. द माइक्रो प्रोसेसर फेचेस दोज इंस्ट्रक्शन फ्रॉम द मेमोरी एंड देन डिकोड्स इट एंड एग्जीक्यूट्स those instructions till stop instruction is reached. Later, it sends the result in binary to the output port. Between these processes, the register stores the temporary data and ALU performs the computing functions, means computational operations, arithmetical and logical operations. So, microprocessor जो होता है वो थ्री ऑपरेशन पे वर्क करता है: फेच, डिकोड एंड देन एग्जीक्यूट. फर्स्ट इंस्ट्रक्शंस को फेच करेगा, डेटा को, इंस्ट्रक्शंस को, एंड देन उसे डिकोड करेगा इंस्ट्रक्शंस को कि कौन सा ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करना है उस डेटा पे, लाइक एडिशन, सब्ट्रैक्शन या लॉजिकल कौन सा ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करना है, वो उसके लिए इंस्ट्रक्शन को डिकोड किया जाएगा. देन उसके अकॉर्डिंग उसे एग्जीक्यूट किया जाएगा, डेटा और इंस्ट्रक्शंस को फिर एग्जीक्यूट किया जाएगा, उस ऑपरेशन का रिजल्ट क्रिएट किया जाएगा. सो माइक्रोप्रोसेसर follows this sequence: fetch, decode and execute. Now there are list of terms used in a microprocessor. Here is a list of some of the frequently used terms in a microprocessor. First one is instruction set. What is the instruction set? It is the set of instructions that the microprocessor can understand. Then bandwidth. It is the number of bits processed in a single instruction. This is known as bandwidth. Clock speed. It determines the number of operations per second the processor can perform. It is expressed in megahertz or gigahertz. It is also known as clock rate. Next, word length. It depends upon the width of internal data bus, registers, ALU, etc. An 8-bit microprocessor can process 8-bit data at a time. And the word length ranges from 4 bits to 64 bits depending upon the type of the microcomputer. Then the data types. The microprocessor has multiple data types formats like binary, BCD, which is known as the binary coded decimal, and the ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange, signed and unsigned numbers. So these are the terms which is used in the microprocessor. Next, Designing microprocessor. When designing a new microprocessor, there are few general steps can be followed to make the process flow more logically. These few steps can be further subdivided into smaller tasks that can be tackled more easily. The general steps to designing a new microprocessor are: first, determine the capabilities the new microprocessor should have. तो फर्स्ट हमें माइक्रोप्रोसेसर की कैपेबिलिटी डिटरमाइंस करनी है जिसमें होनी चाहिए. एंड देन layout, second one is the layout the data path to handle the necessary capabilities. And the third one is define the machine code instruction format. And the fourth one, construct the necessary logic to control that data path. So these are the steps which is used to design a microprocessor. So first, determining machine capabilities. Before you start to design a new microprocessor element, it is important to first ask why you are designing it at all. What new things will your processor do that existing processors cannot? Keep in mind that it is always less expensive to utilize an existing chip than to design and manufacture a new one. Some questions to start. In case of determining a machine capability, is this chip an embedded chip, a general purpose chip, or a different type entirely? And the second one is, what, if any, are the limitations in terms of resources, price, power, or speed? So with that in mind, we need to ask what our chip will do. First, does it have integer, floating point, or fixed point arithmetic, or a combination of all three? Second, does it have scalar or vector operation abilities? Third one, is it self-contained or must it interface with a number of external peripherals? And the fourth, will it support interrupts? If so, how much interrupt latency is tolerable? How much interrupt response jitter is tolerable? So we also need to ask ourselves whether the machine will support a wide array of instructions, or if it will have a limited set of instructions. More instructions make the design more difficult but make programming and using the chip easier. On the other hand, having fewer instructions to easier to design but can be harder or more costly to program. मीन्स अगर ज़्यादा इंस्ट्रक्शंस होगी, मोर इंस्ट्रक्शन होगी, तो उसको डिज़ाइन करने में उतनी ही डिफ़िकल्टीज़ होगी. बट अगर इंस्ट्रक्शंस फ्यूअर है, मीन्स लेस इंस्ट्रक्शंस है, बहुत ही कम इंस्ट्रक्शन हम यूज़ करें, तो उसे डिज़ाइन करना बहुत ईजी होता है बट कैन बी हार्डर एंड मोर कॉस्टली टू प्रोग्राम. सो layout, the basic arithmetic operations you want your chip to have: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and shifting and rotating, the logical operations AND, OR, XOR, NOR, NOT, etc. List other capabilities that your machine has: unconditional jumps, conditional jumps, and the stack operations which have push and pop operation. So once we know that our chip is supposed to do, it is easier to lay out the framework for our data path. Then the next step is designing the data path. So right off the bat, we need to determine what ALU architecture that our processor will use: accumulator, stack, register, a combination of all the above three. Means accumulator, stack और register तीनों के combination, तीनों को require करता है. Then this decision, more than any other, is going to have the largest effect on your final design. Do not proceed in the design process until you have made this decision. Once you have your ALU architecture, you create your memory element, stack or register files, and you can lay out your ALU. And the third is a create ISA. Once we have our basic data path, we can start to design our ISA. There are a few things that we need to consider. Is this processor RISC, CISC or VLIW? These are the types of processor. reduced instruction set computing, and the complex instruction set computing. How long is a machine word? How do you deal with immediate values? What kinds of instruction can accept immediate values? And after that, control logic construction. Build control logic. Once we have our data path or our IC, we can start to construct the logic of our primary control unit. These units are typically implemented as a finite state machine, FSM, and we can try to map the IC to the control unit in a logical way. तो फाइनल जो स्टेप होता है तो कंट्रोल लॉजिक कंस्ट्रक्शंस का होता है. इसमें कंट्रोल लॉजिक क्रिएट करना होता है या बिल्ड करना होता है, हम कह सकते हैं. सो दीज आर द स्टेप्स in designing a microprocessor. Now, features of a microprocessor. Here is a list of some of the most prominent features of any microprocessor. First one, cost effective. The microprocessor chips are available at low prices and result in its low cost. Size. The microprocessor is of small size chip, hence is portable. Low power consumption. Microprocessors are manufactured by using metal oxide semiconductor technology, which has low power consumption. Then versatility. The microprocessors are versatile as we can use the same chip in a number of applications by configuring the software program. And then the reliability. Final one, the failure rate of an IC in microprocessor is very low, hence it is reliable. So these are the features of a microprocessor. The next, a microprocessor can be classified into three categories: RISC, CISC, and the special processors. Now, RISC processor. RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer. It is designed to reduce the execution time by simplifying the instruction set of the computer. Using RISC processor, each instruction requires only one clock cycle to execute result in uniform execution time. This reduces the efficiency as there are more lines of code, hence more RAM is needed to store the instruction. The compiler also has to work more to convert high level language instruction into machine code. So it is designed, RISC processor is basically designed to reduce the execution time. This is the architecture of RISC. RISC microprocessor, reduced instruction set computing microprocessor architecture, uses highly optimized set of instructions, and it is used in portable devices like Apple iPod. Due to its power efficiency, it is used in portable devices. Then the second type of microprocessor is CISC, complex instruction set computer. It is designed to minimize the number of instructions per program. RISC is used to reduce the execution time, where the CISC is used to minimize the number of instructions per program. And ignoring the number of cycles per instruction. The emphasis is on building complex instruction directly into the hardware. So the compiler has to do very little work to translate a high level language into assembly level language and machine code, because the length of the code is relatively short. So very little RAM is required to store the instruction, where the more RAM, the random access memory, the more RAM is needed in case of RISC processor, but in case of CISC, very little RAM is required to store the instructions. This is the architecture of CISC. CISC is basically designed to decrease the memory cost because more storage is needed in larger programs, resulting in higher memory cost. So to resolve this, the number of instructions per program can be reduced by embedding the number of operations in a single instruction. मीन्स जो नंबर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस होती है पर प्रोग्राम में, नंबर ऑफ जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस है उसको रिड्यूस किया जाता है. कैसे? एक जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस है मीन्स सिंगल इंस्ट्रक्शंस में जो नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस है उसको एम्बेड करके, उसको पढ़ा करके, उसको ऐड करके हम नंबर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस को रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं पर प्रोग्राम. एंड दिस इज आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स इंस्ट्रक्शन सेट कंप्यूटर. नेक्स्ट, माइक्रो कंप्यूटर. एक माइक्रो कंप्यूटर as we earlier stated, that what is a microcomputer? It is the combination of input device, output device, memory device with microprocessor. So we can say microprocessor is a part of microcomputer, and a microcomputer is a small, relatively inexpensive computer with a microprocessor as its central processing unit, means CPU. It includes a microprocessor, memory, input output facilities. Microcomputers became popular in the 1970s 80s with the advent of increasingly powerful microprocessors. And examples of microcomputers are Intel 8051 controller, a single board computer, IBM PC, and Apple Macintosh computers. These are the example of the microcomputer. And this is the general architecture of the microcomputer system, which has input device, input output ports, CPU, memory, and this is the data bus, and this is the address bus. The major parts are the CPU, memory, and input output device. There are three buses: address bus, data bus, and the control bus. And we know as the bus is the grouping of wire, collection of wire which is used to transfer the information from one place to another place. Now memory. Memory consists of RAM and ROM. The purpose of memory is to store binary codes for the sequences of instructions you want the computer to carry out. The second purpose of this memory is to store the binary coded data with which the computer is going to be working. And the input output or the input output section allows the computer to take in the data from the outside world or send data to the outside world. And peripherals such as keyboards, video display terminals, printers are connected to input output ports. CPU, as we know, it is central processing unit. In a microcomputer, CPU is a microprocessor and the fetches binary code instruction from memory, decodes the instruction into a series of simple actions, and carries out these actions in a sequence of steps. The CPU also contains an address counter or instruction pointer register which holds the address of next instruction or data item to be fetched from the memory. And the address bus consists of 16, 20, 24, 32 parallel signal lines. On these lines, the CPU sends out the address of the memory location that is to be written to or read from. The number of memory location that the CPU can address is determined by the number of address lines. If the CPU has n address lines, then it can directly address 2n memory locations. CPU with 16 address lines can address 216 or means 2 to the power 16 memory locations. Next, the data bus. The data bus consists of 8, 16 or 32 parallel signal lines, and data bus lines are bidirectional. The address bus is always unidirectional and data bus is bidirectional. And then this means that the CPU can read data from memory or it can send data out to memory, means in the both directions. Next, control bus. The control bus consists of 4 to 10 parallel signal lines. The CPU sends out signals on the control bus to enable the output of address memory devices or port devices. And typical control bus signals are memory read, memory write, input output read, input output write. This is the components of CPU: ALU, CU, and register arrays. And when we add it with it, input output devices, memory, RAM, ROM, system buses, this is known as the microcomputer. Microprocessor is divided into three segments. ALU microprocessor is divided into three segments: ALU, register array, and control unit. This one. Now the arithmetic logic, as you know, this is the area of microprocessor where various computing functions are performed on data. And the ALU performs operations such as addition, subtraction, logical operations, and or excessive etc. And the control unit provides the necessary timing and control signals to all the operations in the microcomputer. It controls the flow of the data between the microprocessor and memory and peripherals. And the control unit performs two basic tasks: sequencing and execution. And the register array, it is the third most important part of the microprocessor. These are storage devices to store data temporarily. There are different types of registers depending upon the microprocessor. These registers are primarily used to store data temporarily during the execution of a program and are accessible to the user through the instruction. General purpose registers of 8086 microprocessor includes AL, AH, BL, BH, CL, CSDL. These are the general purpose registers.